In the quiet days following the death of Liberia's former First Lady, Nancy Bone Doe, in May 2025, a voice of sorrow and frustration broke the silence. This voice belonged to her daughter, Veronica Mamie Doe, who felt her mother had not been given the respect she deserved. She made public statements that caught the attention of the entire nation. Mamie Doe spoke of what she called years of neglect and harsh treatment from the previous government. She claimed that her mother, a figure of national importance, had been subjected to, quote, hostile treatment, public humiliation, and years of silent cruelty under the leadership of then-President George Weah. These were strong words that painted a painful picture. The accusations from Mamie Doe were specific and deeply personal, resonating with many who remembered her mother's time as the country's first indigenous First Lady. She described how her mother was allegedly left waiting at the gates of the executive mansion for 6 long years, never granted a meeting with President Weah. This image was powerful and symbolic, suggesting a deep rift between the former president and the family of the late President Samuel K. Doe. The public was told that Mrs. Doe had been denied the basic courtesies and entitlements that are traditionally given to former First Ladies, leaving her feeling isolated and disrespected in her final years. The claims created a public discussion about how national figures are treated. These public pronouncements were not just a daughter grieving her mother, they were a call for accountability and recognition. Mamie Doe's words carried the weight of history and the expectations of a community that held both the Doe and Weah families in high regard. The allegations suggested a promise unkept, a relationship that had soured despite deep historical connections. The public listened intently, as the story was about more than just one family. It touched upon themes of political courtesy, regional loyalty, and the responsibilities that leaders have to honor the legacies of those who came before them. The entire country watched to see what would happen next. The situation placed former President Weah in a difficult position. The claims of neglect came at a sensitive time. While the Doe family was mourning and planning a funeral, the accusations spread quickly through news outlets and social media, creating a narrative of disrespect. Many people wondered if the relationship between these two prominent families from southeastern Liberia had been permanently broken. Mamie Doe's heartfelt plea for her mother's honor became a focal point of national conversation, forcing a moment of reflection on how Liberia cares for its past leaders and their families. The stage was set for a response that would be judged by all. In a direct and public response to the growing controversy, former President George Weah took a significant step toward reconciliation. On June 8, 2025, he made a personal visit to the home of the late Nancy Doe in the Sincor neighborhood of Monrovia. This was not a quiet, private visit. It was a deliberate gesture meant to be seen by the public, and most importantly, by the grieving family. By going to their home, Weah showed he was willing to face the accusations and offer his sympathy in person. This action was seen as an attempt to mend the relationship and show respect for the former First Lady's memory and her family's pain. During this important visit, Weah did not arrive empty-handed. He came with a substantial donation to help the family with the funeral arrangements. His contribution included a cash amount of 1 million Liberian dollars, which is about 5,000 United States dollars. In addition to the money, he provided 50 bags of rice and 2 large cows, which are traditional and significant gifts in Liberian culture, symbolizing support and deep sympathy. This generous offering was a tangible sign of his remorse and his commitment to honoring Mrs. Doe. It was a practical way to ease the family's burden during a difficult time and demonstrate his sincerity Beyond the material donations, Weah's words during the visit were just as crucial. He spoke directly to the family and those gathered, calling for unity and understanding. He particularly addressed the people of southeastern Liberia, urging them not to let politics create divisions among them. "I came to sympathize with you, and you people are my family," Weah stated, emphasizing their shared roots. He went on to express a sense of regret, acknowledging the pain that had been caused. "There's no justification for how I treated her," he reportedly said, admitting that the late Mrs. Doe could no longer speak for herself. His message was one of healing and looking forward. Weah stressed that his connection to the Doe family was not for political reasons, but was built on, quote, natural love. He wanted to make it clear that their bond went deeper than any political office he had held. His statements were a powerful appeal to overcome misunderstanding and to remember the ties that connect them. This public act of humility and his call for unity were designed to calm the situation and begin the process of repairing the relationship. It was a moment of public atonement that was closely watched by the entire nation. The response from the Doe family to George Weah's visit was overwhelmingly positive and filled with grace. Instead of meeting him with anger or resentment, they welcomed him with open arms. Isaac Nyanabo, a former Senate pro tempore and a representative for the family, spoke warmly of the former president. He referred to Weah as a brother, highlighting the deep, enduring bonds that existed between their families, which originated from their shared heritage in southeastern Liberia. This warm reception immediately changed the tone of the conversation from one of conflict to one of reconciliation. It showed a willingness to forgive and move forward together. Veronica Mamie Doe, the very person who had made the public accusations, also expressed her gratitude. In a remarkable turn of events, she publicly thanked Weah for his visit and his generous support for her mother's funeral. Her acceptance of his gesture was a critical moment in the healing process. Interestingly, she revealed that this was the very first time she had ever met George Weah in person. This detail added another layer to the story, suggesting that the previous distance might have been due to a lack of direct communication rather than personal animosity. Her words of thanks signaled that the family was ready to accept his apology. The meeting was a powerful symbol of Liberian culture, where respect for elders and the importance of community ties can often overcome political disagreements. The family's decision to embrace Weah demonstrated a commitment to unity, especially in a time of mourning. By accepting his offering and his words of sympathy, they sent a clear message to the public that the rift was being healed. The traditional leaders from the county, the home of the Doe family, also recognized Weah's efforts. They honored him with the traditional title of Korino, which means rescuer, for his role in bringing peace to the situation. This positive reception was crucial in dispelling the rumors of a lasting feud. The image of Weah sitting with the Doe family, sharing condolences, was a powerful counter-narrative to the stories of neglect. It showed that even in the face of public criticism, there was room for forgiveness and understanding. The family's response was not just a private matter, it was a public lesson in how to handle conflict with dignity. It reinforced the idea that in Liberia, family and community bonds are sacred and can withstand the pressures of politics, especially when leaders show humility and respect. This entire episode is deeply rooted in the shared history between George Weah and the Doe family. To understand its importance, one must look back to the 1980s. It was the late President Samuel K. Doe who first recognized and supported the former president's incredible football talent. President Doe personally sponsored his early career, helping to launch the journey that would make him an international superstar. This historical connection makes the relationship between Weah and the Doe family more than just a political one. It is personal and has a long history. It is a story of a president from the Southeast helping a young, talented man from the same region achieve his dreams. The fact that both families come from southeastern Liberia adds another layer of significance. In Liberia, regional ties are incredibly strong and create a sense of shared identity and responsibility. The perceived neglect of Nancy Doe was seen by some not just as a political slight, but as a break in this regional bond. Weah's visit was therefore not just about making peace with one family. It was about reaffirming his connection to his roots and to the people of the Southeast. His call for unity among Southeasterners was a direct appeal to this shared identity, reminding everyone that their connection should be stronger than any political disagreements. The story of Weah's visit and the Doe family's acceptance carries a powerful message for all of Liberia about the importance of unity and respect. It shows that reconciliation is possible, even after public and painful disagreements. The events demonstrate that true leadership involves humility, the ability to acknowledge mistakes and make amends. In a country that has endured deep divisions, this act of coming together serves as a potent example. It highlights a path forward where dialogue and mutual respect can heal wounds and strengthen the fabric of the nation, reminding citizens that they are all part of one Liberian family. Ultimately, this saga is a lesson in the enduring power of Liberian cultural values. It teaches that honoring those who have passed and showing respect to their families are fundamental principles that hold society together. The story of George Weah and the Doe family is a reminder that while politics can be divisive, the ties of shared history, community, and humanity are what truly last. The peaceful resolution shows a way for Liberian society to handle its internal conflicts with grace, ensuring that unity and respect remain at the heart of the nation's identity as it continues to build a peaceful future. And yes, I purposely left out the return cow story. Your narrator, your humble servant, Lofa. Keep following Lofa Julius, the International Media Room, and Across Africa Network.